Hello everyone, and welcome to 10-Minute Minis. I'm Jeff Kleiber with Ferguson Enterprises. In this series, we'll cover a broad range of topics from proper tool usage to installation best practices to a look at Ferguson's value-added services. We hope you find this valuable, and to all of our customers, we thank you for your business. Welcome to 10-Minute Minis. I'm Jeff Kleiber. In this session, we'll be demonstrating the proper installation procedures for the NUPI America's Electrolet fitting. This is a saddle-style PPR-CT fitting that can be attached to the main pipe using electrofusion. This will allow you to easily and accurately position where your branch piping needs to be. The Electrolet is manufactured with an embedded resistance element on the inside face of the saddle base. It's designed to meet the requirements of ASTM F2389 with sufficient thickness and length of the fusion zone to match the pressure rating of the pipe that we're going to be fusing it to. Each fitting can be welded to any of the various SDRs of pipe. Currently, NUPI manufactures the Electrolets in SDR 11. While the fitting can be welded to any SDR of the main pipe, it's important to understand that the pressure rating will only meet the published maximums for SDR 11 or SDR 17. If you install a branch to meet the higher pressure ratings of SDR 9 or SDR 7.4, you will need to use a standard Instabranch outlet fitting. The Electrolet comes with various outlet connection options. These include a plain end for direct connection to PPR-CT pipe or fittings, a female or male brass threaded outlet in both standard and lead-free brass, PEX adapters in both crimp and expansion styles, and valved configurations. There is also a hot tap T version of the Electrolet with an integral valve. Use of these Electrolets for hot taps provides a quick and relatively inexpensive way to add a branch line to an existing system that's in service. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to position our Electrolet on the pipe where we want our branch outlet to be. We'll take and we'll position where we want the saddle to sit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mark around the base of the saddle with a Sharpie marker. Then we're going to take the saddle off and set it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark some cross lines across the area that the saddle is going to be placed so that we get a checkerboard pattern. Once we have our checkerboard pattern in here, we're going to take and scrape off for the base. What we're doing here is we're removing all the oxidation from the surface of the pipe so that any contamination present will be removed. So what we want to do is we want to scrape off about 0.2 mils or 0.2 millimeters off the surface of the pipe. So what I'm doing is I am going to just scrape those marks off of there. And for reference, 0.2 millimeters is roughly 2 sheets of copy paper. Okay, as with any fusion, we're going to clean the surface of the pipe and the base of the Electrolet with 91% or greater isopropyl alcohol. And again, we're going to be using a plain lint-free cloth or paper towel, and we're going to do this just prior to securing it to the pipe. Again, we're going to make sure we clean the base of the saddle as well Again, we're getting all the oxidation and all the contamination off the base of the saddle and off of the pipe. Then without touching it, we're going to reposition our saddle back onto our pipe and secure it. Now, as you can see, there are two styles of electrolet connection types. One is this belt style. The other is a rigid underdeck clamp that is molded and has one clamp onto it. So for the belt style, we're going to have to make sure that our nuts are tightened down on all 4 points here. And we're going to tighten it down until this bracket on the base of the pipe is flush against the base of the electrolet fitting. So now we can go ahead and set up our processor, and we can input any information that we want as far as the job information, the weld number if we choose to, and any other site information. What we'll do is turn it on. It'll go through a memory test, and then it will bring up a prompt, and in this case you'll see that it's requiring some maintenance. And I know that in this particular processor it is out of calibration, or I should say due for recalibration. So that's what that prompt is telling us. So at this point in time, what I would do is send this into the manufacturer. They would recalibrate it. Typically that's good from anywhere from a year to 3 years or so before it needs to be recalibrated. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and advance through. And it's going to give us the serial number of the machine, the time and date, and then it's going to ask us whether we're doing a manual or a barcode scan. We're going to do a barcode scan here. If you have issues with your barcode scanner, you could always change that to manual and then read off the label from the electrolet saddle. It will tell you the voltage and the time required. So you can do this manually if the barcode reader fails. So we're going to select barcode here. It's going to allow us to enter an alphanumeric operator code if we choose. It's going to give us opportunity to put site information in 2 spots. And then it's going to ask us whether we're in welding mode or a pressure test mode. And in this case, of course, we're going to do a weld. So it's confirming that we're going to go do a weld. So now it's asking us to go ahead and scan the barcode. And you will hear the machine give us a chirp signal that it's scanned properly. And you will see a prompt on here that we are fusing a nylon saddle, 125 millimeter OD diameter. It's giving us a weld voltage input of 35 volts and a welding time of 120 seconds. Now again, if you don't have a barcode reader, you would be able to enter that information manually. So we enter through here again. It's asking, have we scraped and cleaned the pipe? Yes, in this case we just enter. Are we using a pipe aligner? In the case of electrofusion fittings, you need to secure both sides of the fitting to make sure that there is no possible movement. In this case, since we're using a saddle and we have it secured extremely tight onto our pipe, we don't need to use that aligner, so we'll go ahead and enter through there. And now it's giving us a prompt verifying our pipe diameter, our voltage, and it's asking us to go ahead and proceed by hitting enter, or we can escape by hitting, or go back by hitting the escape key. So at this point in time, I can go ahead and hit enter. And what it's going to tell me now, it's going to give me my resistance, the measured resistance, and it's going to go into its countdown. You can see the voltage that's being put in, 35 volts, and it gives us a countdown on the time remaining through this weld. So right now, the electrolet is energized through the processor, and it is energizing that coil that's embedded in here, and it's creating the heat that's going to melt the ID of the saddle and the OD of the pipe. And again, since we have that saddle secured real tight, there's no gaps in here, no air leakage can get out of there. As that molten material expands under heat, it is mixing together, and then once we get down to the cool down time, as that material cools, it will melt together and mix into that one homogeneous piece of piping. Once we've met our total cool time, it's okay to go ahead and tap the pipe. Prior to that, what we may want to do is mark our weld with the 3 digits of the serial number of the processor. We could put our weld date on here and the time that we did the weld, and then our initials or installer number. Once the complete fusion process is complete, it's okay whether we either leave the belt or the rigid underdeck clamp on the pipe. If we choose to, for aesthetic purposes or any other reason, we're free to remove the belt or the rigid underdeck clamp at this point in time. This concludes our demonstration featuring the NUPI America's Electrolet saddle fitting. We hope that you found this information useful. Please check back with us again often for more Ferguson 10-minute minis.